as you can see, this is a Hewlett-Packard Kayak. It is an XA model. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but obviously it's the model of it somehow. Got a Pentium II. It's a workstation sort of computer, and you can see it's in really bad shape. It's got a serial port, some audio. I believe it has a speaker in the front. PS2 ports. Oh yes, I know my footwear is abominable, but might as well wear them until they die. And then we have VGA parallel, 2 USB ports, which are totally black. I don't think that's normal. Modem and some kind of networking card. What does that say? 10100, I guess, and SCSI as well on the same card. That's odd. So you have ventilation. I believe that's for the CPU. We have a key thing. It is unlocked. Power supply. Let me show you how bad this is. The fan... Okay, this doesn't fit, so you have to take my word for it, but the fan is seized. And then we have a door here for the SCSI hard drive, or 2 of them, but there's only 1 in there. Don't know why there's a door for it, though, instead of just doing it from the inside. Okay, and on the front we have... I don't think this is... I don't remember, but I don't think this is anything, but it looks like it should be a screen. And we have power, reset, and a lock button, I guess. This volume thing, which I am quite confident that I broke when I tried to move it, and I was like, oh, it's moving, but no, it just snapped. Headphone, microphone, floppy, CD. Yeah, this thing is in sad shape. So I studied this for quite some time, and it looks like you have to open this somehow with this, and then some part of it slides off somehow. Aha, okay. Oh, I did open this before. That's why it's so easy to get off. It wasn't the first time. Okay, so... Oh, and as you can see, it really only gets worse. Power supply is rusted on the inside. We have remains of a wasp nest. Quite an old one at that, because it's really crumbly. This is for the CPU fan. It's in this weird shroud thing. It doesn't seem like it's doing what it should be, but that's how it goes on there, I do believe. I certainly haven't touched it. And yeah, so this thing is seriously neglected. The motherboard, strangely, at least as far as I can see, is in remarkable condition. There's no rust. It's just a little bit dirty. There's rust on either what's a CMOS battery or just a really fat capacitor. I think it's just a capacitor. And seemingly this is just a custom power supply there, because that's not AT for sure. This is kind of gonna hinge on the power supply working or not. So I guess we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to take a bunch of stuff out here and clean it. So I think this power supply might actually have a chance. I did see this before I opened it, this reddish, but I don't think that's rust. I think it's just whatever glue they've used to seal it, either reacting with adverse conditions or just time or just how it looks. I will take this fully apart though, but on the board itself or the components there's hardly any corrosion. It's all on the outside, so this must have just been in a really damp place. I guess outside, considering there was a beehive, but it must not have gotten much for water actually in it, except maybe for this fan, because listen to those bearings. definitely have to see if I can revive that, but it's most likely going to be replaced. Another view of the power supply board here, you can see that it's got almost no corrosion on the bottom, and not really anything on the top. The only thing to speak of was a screw over here, which again is probably just the same story of wetness in the air rather than actual water flowing through here. So I don't think it would be the craziest idea to test this. I'll assemble it back up after I clean the case, because that's actually sort of dirty. And we will see what happens, I suppose. Oh, right, here's my replacement fan. If I can find, where did I set it? Okay, here's the original. You can see, I tried oiling it, but the shaft is seized, and what's happening when I spin this, as far as I can tell, is just the, it's spinning on the shaft, like I don't know how to explain it exactly, but like it's not fully attached to the shaft. I don't know if that's normal, but the shaft is definitely not spinning during any of this, so it's definitely a lost cause. I did try plugging it in, the motor's not shorted, and as far as I can tell it's operating properly. It just can't, like the circuitry rather is operating properly, it just can't actually spin. But no big deal. I have plenty of fans from failed power supplies. So I've checked hot and neutral to ground. Things seem right there, and there's a reasonable resistance between hot and ground, or hot and neutral. So I'm gonna go plug it in and we will see what happens. Well, it didn't immediately explode. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that fan is running. I don't believe it. Anyway, now to check voltages. In case you're wondering, it is the white connector on this that actually turns it on. So let's see. There was no voltage on the white connector, or at least no significant voltage. So let's stick this into the ground, our remaining ground pin that's there. Okay, and turn on the multimeter. It's probably not going to be very visible, even if I get it in frame. Okay, so let's see here. So this should be 5, I believe. Oh, that's not 5. Okay, so, well, I don't really have an answer for why it was being weird. Apparently the video light is still on. Oh well. But if you can read that, it's got voltage now. I think my multimeter was just being stupid. Either that or I didn't have a good ground connection. So let's try, let's see. Are we going to have something on here that's 3.3? See what that yellow is. No, that's 12. Okay, and then that's, what, negative 12? Oh well, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Okay, that's the negative 5 right there. Yeah. Oh, I think that's power good. That green is negative 12. Well, there you go, I guess. So let's see, this should be actually 12. Yeah, a little low, but it's under essentially no load. I can't blame it. Let's step it up a little bit. Let's get SCSI hard drive. I don't know what version of SCSI that actually is just by the connector alone, but it's one of them. I think this is newer than the computer. It's spun up. It does sound healthy, surprisingly. If you look at the bottom, it is corroded here, so that is kind of surprising. But hey, hard drive. So just unplug this for now, and we'll actually piece the system back together and see what happens, I guess. This is great. Okay, sometime later, I think I have this back together enough to try and see what happens. So we've got this connected. I've only got there's lights under here. That's what's going on with this screen looking thing. Try to get that slightly in view without shorting anything, I guess. It's not very in view. Oh well. Let's see. Speaker. I believe I have a replacement somewhere. You can see that this one is a little bit gone. But I'm hoping that it might, if it beeps or something, which I think it should be enough to know, I think. So, I guess without much further ado, I'm going to plug it in and we'll see what happens. Okay. It's alive! It turns out that when you actually use the actual power button, it helps. I don't know why it turns itself on now. I guess because I'm not turning it off nicely. But before, it was just turning on, twitching for a second, if you will, and then shutting back off because I guess it decided nothing to do. But yes, it's clearly more working. We have 2817. I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know if the codes in this thing are worth anything, but it seems to indicate maybe memory, at least one of those two codes, and well, I am holding the memory in my hand, so it probably would help if I installed it. I should probably fetch a monitor at some point quite soon as well. Let's see what happens here. Okay, 8281. I think it hung there once. Hey, it's definitely posting. It's going through the motions. Let's get a monitor. I figured I'd take a moment to talk about the expansion cards in here. So this is just standard of the time 56K looks like modem, just junk. And then there's this. This is seemingly as mentioned before, a network card and SCSI adapter in one. Host adapter, I guess you'd say. It has a SimBIOS logic chip on it, which I don't think I've ever seen one before. A digital branded chip. I also don't think I've seen one before. And then an AMD Ethernet chip. You don't see that every day. SimBIOS logic, I'm assuming that this and, well, probably the digital chip are both more dealing with the SCSI stuff. Let's see, we have a level 1 chip, another company I have not seen a chip from. I've never even heard of that one. I've heard of the other two, though. Not sure what it's doing. And then a standard, I don't know what you call that exactly, but one of those, like, ferrite thing. I think there's like little ferrite things in there, and like just to provide isolation from the actual Ethernet. So like if you have two computers on different phases, it doesn't like kill itself. So galvanic isolation, I think, is what you'd call that term. I don't know what the chip is called though, but you know. So that's fairly cool, I would say. Okay, so let's see this thing do something. When do you think this was last used? My guess is probably 2006. That's just a random guess, pretty much. But I don't even know if I'll be able to know. Okay, I gotta fix the monitor. There we go. Hopefully that didn't just shift the motherboard enough to cause problems. Okay. Okay, this keyboard must stink. Okay, here's another go. I might have had the keyboard and mouse swapped. Let's see. Oh, the keyboard's working now. Welcome to... Hey, Happy New Year! It's 1988. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna guess that this is month, day, year, because it's HP. Well, really it's Phoenix, but, you know. Okay, it is 10:46. But I need 24-hour time. Duh. Okay. Yeah, I want a key click. I don't hear anything. The speaker's probably too bad, or maybe I need to save settings for that to happen. Okay, well. I don't want to know if there's errors at this point. The IBM that I have does this as well. I don't know why, but you have to set the refresh rates in here. Flexible disk. Yeah, we should have one flexible disk drive. CD-ROM, yeah. Probably. Okay, seems... yeah. Okay, yeah. I can just randomly hear the bearings in the hard drive. That doesn't seem good. But, you know. Okay, so... boot device, probably, yeah. Let's see if the card actually appears, I guess. Who knows how long these settings will actually save for. Hopefully we can at least get reset and get the BIOS up. It doesn't have amnesia that bad. I've only got one computer that does, so it should be okay. Yeah, that's what I figured that would do. Hey, look, it shows the postcodes right there, what my card was showing earlier. CD-ROM. I don't know why it's complaining about the CD-ROM. So... just reset. Hopefully that's normal. If not, I might actually have to try to sort out the memory issue, but... oh, that's a happy beep. Oh, come on. Well, I didn't see the card come up, so I got it to work. I just got it to work. It's stupid late, but oh my god, it's booting. Windows XP is a little bit unexpected, but let's talk about the casualties. This is earlier. This is the audio. This is the bracket that holds the audio stuff in place. Floppy drive totally dead. Seems to be. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Flexible disk drive. That's totally dead. The CD drive, CD burner, which seems to already be a replacement. That's dead. So I'm quite curious to see what's going on with the XP here. Yeah, I just had to reinsert the card a bunch of times. I also tried cleaning the contacts, but I think it was more just pulling the card out a heck of a lot of times. Is that 3 antiviruses? Okay, so this was not being used as a workstation anymore. I can tell you that much. And it's on 128 megabytes of RAM, so I'm screwed if any of these antiviruses decide they're gonna load. But let's see when this file is from, I guess. 2010, wow, okay. Oh boy. Never a good sign when it wants to install that right away. Okay, so correction here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 antiviruses, and that's just what's on the desktop. Isn't that something? Let's see, can we convince this thing to open a web browser or something? I think this hard drive might have problems. Never good when you hear like the same short little sound over and over. But man, this PC, I would believe it if it had spent every year of that 10 years outside. Well, 12, I guess. But I guess depending on the placement of it exactly, it could have been a fair bit less amount of time. Avast is the only thing that's actually open to scanning utility. I guess I don't know when any of these other things actually got some kind of real-time scanning. It might have been later on. Oh dear, now it's... Wow, AutoCAD on this thing. Well, I guess I don't know if it's AutoCAD. Let's see what you are. Design, whatever that is. Let's see what pops up in this thing. I know I've just asked it to do like 5 things after saying that it has 128 megabytes of RAM. I have the other 128 right here, but it's obviously not in the computer, and it would not be such a great idea to put it in there now. It's still trying to do about 18 different things, but yes, it looks like it was last doing stuff in about 2010, which that's kind of surprising. Not that this would really have been that bad of a machine. The Pentium II definitely would have been the weak point because it's only 266 megahertz, but you can see there that that's the computer specifications currently, but keep in mind somebody did upgrade it. Though the one that's in there is probably actually the upgrade stick, because this says PC100 and then the other one's PC133. That's just a guess though. But yes, I'm not going to show the documents because they are, shall we say, incredibly doxing just by the file names alone. Well, I better wrap this video up now because I'm pretty sure the hard drive has just jumped off the bridge. I don't know how well you can hear it, but the system's grinding to a halt, and I doubt I'll even be able to shut it down properly. I don't think it's going to return from this one, but it's kind of funny how the hard drive worked for like a few minutes, and then it started having problems, and then it quickly got to it probably is not responsive at all. Certainly I could do something with IDE with this, but I mean, it's something I could obviously figure out, but I don't even know what version of SCSI that is, and I certainly don't have any drives for it, so I would probably buy a SCSI drive just because it seems like the right thing to do. But yes, I'll have to find something to do with this system and, well, more significantly put it back together, but I'll wait until I have the RAM inserted and make sure that the card is actually going to work for a while, because that's probably going to cause problems again. But in any case, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it being recorded on my new camera in 60 frames per second, might I add. Not that my old one couldn't do it, it just couldn't do it non-interlaced, so I just didn't bother. So yes, thank you for watching, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave one, and have a good day, or night, or whatever. Yup, that was that.